And in interest of time, we're going to start with our Q3 analyst meeting for Thai Feedmill. Today, we are going to announce our Q3 results. And today we have with us Mr. Pirasak Bunmichol, our CEO, Mr. Kromkrit Pawasutinon, our acting chief financial officer. And we're going to begin. And I'd like to invite Mr. Pirasak to take over. For the third quarter for Thai Union Feedmill, we have profit as expected. It's grown from the previous quarter with our gross profit margin rising to 11.1%. And our sales have dropped a bit by about 4.8% year on year and 2.8% quarter on quarter due to a drop in our sales in terms of shrimp feed and fish feed. And the shrimp price has dropped by 21.6%. And this is for 60 pieces per kilogram. The shrimp prices have never gone down so long. And this is the first year. And this has led to the farmers waiting to farm shrimp. So the entire production amount year on year for Thailand has gone down by 3.6% or almost 4%. And in terms of our volume, the quarter on quarter numbers are basically the same, but based year on year, it's gone down. And this is caused by our shrimp feed sales volume dropping. And gross profit, we continue to grow compared to the quarter before at 18.3%. And even though this has dropped by 5.3% year on year because of our drop in sales, but our profitability, and our gross profit margin is at 11.1%. There are still some raw material prices, for instance, for soybean meal, that continue to increase, and there are other raw material prices that are lowering. And we are pursuing cost savings in our factories, reducing our investment costs. We're working on production efficiency, packaging, and overhead costs that are lowering. So our net profit has improved. From the quarter before, we have grown at 9.9% quarter on quarter. Compared year on year, it has gone down a bit by 8.9%. And the result is from our recognition of allowance for debtful accounts at TUKL. We have set them according to accounting standards. And if we do not include this particular item, then our net profit would be at about the same level as the year before. And our cost control in the third quarter has led to our SG&A in the factory to go down from 6.9% in the past year to 6.5% in this quarter. And the details for the portfolio in the third quarter. In the third quarter, we have changed from the quarter before a bit. Our fish feed, we've increased in terms of sales, especially for sea bass feed. This is a feed that leads to a higher margin for us. Our market share is the biggest in Thailand for sea bass feed, and it's grown more, about 37%. And this is a product champion for us that has led to the contribution is 37%. This is thanks to a 36.8% increase in sales growth. And we focus on sea bass feed. And from Pakistan, the fish feed has dropped there. and we have increased our livestock feed in Pakistan. But in Thailand, our sea bass feed sales have improved, and this is our product champion. Our market share has gone to about 36 to 37%. The overall picture for the shrimp industry in Thailand in the three quarters for this year, the production in Thailand for this year, for the third quarter, has gone down. And the prices are 20 or so baht per kilogram. TFM, we have selective sales. We're looking at shrimp feed sales dropping by 7%. And we're looking towards premium products and higher margin products. Shrimp farmers have reduced their costs. They're using feed that has lower prices. This has led to some effect. And in our next slide, you can see that our sales for sea bass feed continue to grow. This is our game plan. It's what we want to drive our sea bass feed sales as we have higher profit. We've grown by more than 36%. And thanks to the high quality of our sea bass feed, which continues to improve, this has led to farmers choosing our product over others. We plan to continue to maintain the growth in this segment. Our productivity is 80,000 to 100,000 tons, so there's room for growth. Our market share for sea bass feed rose to 32% from 27%. I have traveled to TUKL in Indonesia in the past few weeks, and I saw the opportunity, so many opportunities, and I'm quite confident that at TUKL we can turn around. The company can turn around, and we can see growth, significant growth next year. It will be a new engine for TFM with both sales and profit. In the past, we have gone in to help with the management, and today, TFM, we are sharing our formulation knowledge with them, our cost-saving knowledge with them, and our selective raw material strategy with them. In Indonesia, what's important is the sales. We can take a look at the products in the market. There is room for improvement in this respect. In terms of color and the odor or the smell, the aroma of the food to create diversification. And also, we want to implement selective raw materials sourcing so that we have higher quality raw materials and to improve the quality of our products there as well. We have plans for marketing there, and we are going to synergize with our formulation, and the market size in Indonesia is quite significant. 1 month, the market size is about 32,000 tons per month, and in the past month, we sold about 400 to 500 million tons. And in November, there's a report that we can increase to up to 1 million tons. This is West Java and the various islands within a radius where transportation is favorable. Right now we're selling 1,000 tons, but our capacity is 2,000 tons. So I believe that the market size is quite significant. We are working on expanding the market here, especially in the fourth quarter. We're becoming more aggressive. And another area that's close to West Java and East Java, we're not interested in anything outside of this radius because of the transportation costs. And our factory, where our location is right now we have a lot of opportunity. We're at 1,000 tons, but we have a capacity of 20,000 tons. So there's a lot of opportunity for us, and this is something we wanted to share with the analysts and investors. I'd like to ask Kun Kumgui to take over now. Hello to our investors, analysts, and everyone interested. I will share about the details based on the overall picture that Compare Sector provided just now. In the third quarter, for Thai Union Feedmill, for the entire group, we're going to talk about 3 or 4 issues, 3 or 4 topics. For this quarter, our top line has not reached our expectations, has dropped by 4.8% year-on-year. This is because of pressure from the market prices for shrimp, leading farmers to farm less shrimp. And we told you before that in the third quarter, it's a peak season for our company in terms of fish and shrimp feed. But we have an issue of lower shrimp prices, which has led to shrimp farmers delaying their investment and production. We have adjusted internally, and so our gross margin is at a stable level. It's 11.1% compared to the last year, same level. In the second quarter, we had a gross margin of 9.1%, and this quarter we are at 11.1%. And in the last quarter, we are trying to have a gross margin of double-digit numbers, so that we end the year on a good note. And the price of shrimp, you know, right now that at the moment it's improving. It's going sideways up with a price from at about 60 pieces per 160 baht this morning. The prices have gone down to about 130 or so baht per 60 pieces. So this is incentive for shrimp farmers to do more shrimp farming. And so we will continue to pursue cost efficiency in our operations. And we believe that we can achieve or maintain profit and income. And for SG&A, we are trying to make everything as lean as possible. Even though our sales have dropped, the percentage of SG&A is increasing. It's improving. It's declined by 10. It's decreased from 6.9% to 6.5%. And now let's take a look at the details, more details. For our net sales for each SKU, our main SKUs, if we take a look at the shrimp feed, you can see that the net sales gone down year-on-year by 7%. But if it's on quarter-on-quarter, it's gone down by 16.8%. Nevertheless, the market situation, if you take a look, we're looking at sales of 14.7% for one of our products. The value that we are selling, the value has improved. We are trying to shift our portfolio to a new sales mix, including premium shrimp feed and our fighting brand. There might be a price war in the market right now, so we will focus less on that. But in the future, once things begin to normalize, we will talk to formulators to adjust the formulations for our fighting brands so that we can be more competitive in that respect. And we will report to you about that in the next quarter. As for our fish feed, overall, this year, for fish feed, for freshwater fish feed, it's dropped because AMG in Pakistan, there's been a shift in the market, so they have to switch their SKUs to more livestock feed. but the sales haven't dropped that badly. The sales value has gone down year on year by 5.7%, and the volume has dropped by 21.2%. But our sea bass feed has improved by 40.5% year on year. And the livestock feed has increased in Pakistan as well. For the most part, the sales value has gone up 6.7%, and the sales volume has gone up by 10.5% year on year. If we take a look at the revenue structure, you can see, analysts can see that the 3 months and the year to date for 9 months. Take a look at the left-hand side first. Let's compare quarter 3 for this year to quarter 3 of last year. You can see that the shrimp feed has dropped a bit as the main contributor. It's gone up from 53 to 51.9%. Fish feed has gone up from 37.4% to 37%. And the fish feed for the fresh fish feed has dropped significantly, but we do have the sea bass feed, which has helped here. And livestock as well for the quarter, we've grown from 8.3% to 9.3%. If we take a look at the 9 months from the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the year, the shrimp feed was very significant in terms of growth. So the accumulative growth for 9 months is more than last year. It's up from 53.5% to 56%. And for the fish feed from the beginning of the year, it's dropped down from last year from 35.9% to providing contribution of 32.7%. And livestock feed, the contribution has grown from 9% to 9.7%. And as for others, this is mostly production issues. We have opportunity for growth here. And this is also providing a nice margin for the company. But the sales are about 30 to 40 million. But we're going to focus more on this SKU in the coming years. And on the next slide we showed you our products. Let's take a look now at the companies, the company view. TFM, which is the mother company, and TUKL and AMG, which are our subsidiaries. The mother company, TFM, year on year, we've gone down by 6.2% for net sales, and the quarter on quarter net sales have gone down by 3.3%, mostly because of the shrimp feed sales from lower domestic shrimp prices, as we mentioned before. And TUKL in Indonesia, the shrimp feed sales have improved. And based on the question we had from the last session, we're always asked about TUKL, when will we break even? This year, in the third quarter, we wanted to achieve break even, but we have gone in and we are restructuring internally, and our sales are also readjusting. And we believe that thanks to this overhaul, that it will affect our top line. And we should see break even next year for sure. This year, we may grow gradually from the sales, and the sales should be thanks to our 1,000 tons per month. AMG sales have dropped because of the fish feed sales resulting from lower domestic fish prices. And there has been an increase in livestock feed sales for AMG. And the cost structure and total revenue are not that much affected. So next year, we plan to increase our SKUs there, to adjust our production line so that we can promote new SKUs, which is the shrimp feed. And this should be able to start in the first or second quarter of next year. And if we take a look at the percentage for the margin numbers in the third quarter for last year, yes, consolidated income, uh, the gross margin percentage, it's about the same at 11.1%, even though our sales have dropped, mostly from the mother company agreement and in Pakistan as well. The shrimp feed improvement in Indonesia, and SG&A has improved from last year. It's at SG&A is down 10.7% year on year. And our AR provision, TUKL, has been operating for about a year or so and has some AR accounts that we had to set a provision for to be able to provide better control. And we're using the policy from the mother company, and we're monitoring this every month. This number has just been set in the third quarter, and it is at about 7.3 million Thai baht, the allowance for doubtful accounts in Indonesia. And the provision has had to been set, and if we don't include the doubtful accounts provision or allowance, then you can see that there hasn't been much of a change. And here, the structure of the company sales year on year. If we look at the 9 months for the year, you can see that the volume has dropped by 7.1% year on year. And because of smart sales and selective sales, especially at the mother company, as an example for our other companies, which we will expand to Indonesia, our sales have grown 3.8%, and gross profit in terms of the actual numbers has gone down by 0.4%. And there has been pressure from the first quarter with the higher raw material prices, which has caused our quarter one numbers to be negative. Before the second and third quarter, we have worked to improve these numbers. In the second and third quarter, we have better numbers than last year. But unfortunately, our quarter one numbers were in the negative. But in the fourth quarter, we expect better numbers as well. For the entire year, our net profit for last year was at 92.7 million baht from our consolidated numbers, but it's dropped to 72.5 million baht. We have the net profit down 21.7% because of a one-off expense write-off. And if we do not have this write-off, then you can see that our profit numbers are similar to last year. And another thing that is of interest to analysts is the cost structure from our raw materials, mostly accounting for 80% of our cost structure. You can see that the trend for our raw materials, many of them, are still continuing to improve, especially for fish meal compared to last year. You can see that the price this year has increased by 9.4% year on year, but quarter on quarter is 3.2% increase. This is included, the fish meal is part of our formulation to maintain the quality of our product. It's at a quite high level of our formulation. And you can see the average prices dropping for soybean meal, dropping by 4% year-on-year and 5.4% quarter-on-quarter. There may be an increase in this in the fourth quarter, though. And one other key raw material for our fish feed is the wheat flour price. For our aquatic feed is wheat flour price, wheat flour. Quarter-on-quarter has gone down 10.7%. Year-on-year has gone down 34.9%. And in the fourth quarter, we expect the price to be more stable. We will have to monitor the situation globally with the conflict in the various areas in Ukraine. And lastly, what I want to share with you is our working capital and our profitability ratio. In the third quarter, if we take a look at the consolidated numbers, our AR collection period has increased from 55 days to 59 days. And this, in actuality, we are monitoring the accounts receivable collection. And we're setting a stronger policy. And in the third quarter, the price of shrimp was not as expected. That is why we've received requests to push out payment, but we believe things will improve in the fourth quarter. Our accounts receivable normally don't have an issue. It's controllable. And in terms of our days inventory, it's gone up from 44 to 46 days, increasing by 2 days. And the company expected that in the third quarter that our sales would peak. But when we did not meet those expectations, then we have to adjust the forecast for production so that we can save internally. And we've implemented preventive maintenance. And so this has affected our days inventory, and it's increased by 2 days. And for days payable, it's gone down from 51 days to 47 days. The company has not changed its policy in paying its debt or loans, but we see from our records that we have fish meal purchases increase for the period, and we have to pay within 7 days. So the average days payable has gone down, but we have not changed any of our policies in this regard. So our cash cycle for this quarter seems a bit worse by 10 days, but the reasons are, as I mentioned earlier, for all of the analysts and investors to hear. And another ratio that's important, or two other ratios we'd like to share with you, are our return on equity and interest-bearing debt to equity. Return on equity for the entire group has gone down a little bit from 4.3% to 4%. And the interest-bearing debt to equity is at a low level at 0.06. It's only increased slightly from the last quarter. And this is the overall picture of our group financially. We continue to fight with the market forces, and at the moment, our raw material prices are not very favorable. We are able to maintain things, though, because of our internal adjustments, our internal improvements, our portfolio shift to selling products that have higher prices and higher margin. And what we are providing support to our subsidiaries, help them with their overall profit numbers. And we believe we will have more good news to share with you in the next quarter. And I'd like to hand things over to Khun Pirasak for the guidance. For our business outlook, our financial guidance, we are going to maintain at 6 to 8% year-on-year, and our GPM will be 8 to 10%. SG&A is 6 to 8%. Our dividend policy, we will pay out at least 50%, and our capex is at 50 Thai baht. And for next year, what I'd like to share with the investors and analysts is that in the third quarter, the shrimp price, that is the headwind from the market. The market headwinds are quite aggressive or quite strong. The shrimp prices, for instance, were before 100 pieces for 115 baht, but now it's 60 pieces for 120 baht or so. And in the third quarter, this price has dropped down from the previous quarters. So this is the reason why we're facing of about 25 baht or so per size. And this is a momentum we're seeing from the farmers who are increasing their shrimp farming. We're seeing a rebound here, and this will lead to better profit. In Thailand, we expect 260,000 to 270,000 shrimp production capacity for Thailand. The market share for us is the white shrimp that we're maintaining market share in. We're at 18%, and we believe we can go to 20%. And next year, we will increase our market share even further. The second key driver for us is the seafood. There are 80,000 tons in the country being produced. We expect the numbers to improve. There is a gap. There is more opportunity for sales. And two more engines that I want to share with you. There are two more drivers that we are working on for the fourth quarter so that we can continue to grow in the first quarter of next year. And that is tilapia feed. Tilapia here in Thailand is about 200,000 tons. And we're looking at our market share is about 7% for tilapia feed. And the profit for tilapia feed is very good at about 6 to 8%. And this will be another engine or driver that will help us increase our sales and also improve our profit. And one other key unit or SKU is the Gamgan shrimp. In Thailand, the production is about 140,000 tons. Our market share is only 8%. And I have a plan or a strategy starting from quarter four. We have adjusted our portfolio because of higher raw material prices. In the second quarter and third quarter, we've improved. In the fourth quarter, we believe we will have momentum despite the headwinds that we face. We will protect ourselves because of the prices, the raw material prices, but we do see opportunities for our portfolio. If we focus on these four engines and follow our plans for the fourth quarter, and to connect with our customers in terms of raw materials costs, and which we have already started, we will be able to make the most of our investments. And the second thing that I want to share with you in terms of our mission and our opportunity are that we are confident that after having visited with TUKL in Indonesia, where we have invested, and as I mentioned earlier, I see opportunity because we're only selling 1,000 tons, but there is the size of 32,000 tons. If we can increase our production capacity to 2,000 tons, we can achieve so much more. So we are speeding things up. We are working on expanding our market and improving our formulation. We're taking the Thai formulation, which has a dark color and has a fishy smell, which the aquatic marine life find attractive. We're going to introduce this formulation in Indonesia, and we hope that we'll be able to make headway in the market there. And also in terms of our raw materials, in TUKL, the raw materials are cheaper than in Thailand. Some of them are so much more cheaper. A few of them are more expensive, but we see the opportunity in terms of cost function, in terms of cooperation for raw materials sourcing. And this will help us with our raw materials costs in competing with our competitors in Indonesia. And the products and the other factors that will lead to better margin. We have squid liver powder, other exports for the companies under our umbrella in Indonesia, and also we're selling to India. We have increased sales from 10 million to 30 million or so. We believe that this will improve our margin. If we can generate margin from every engine, which is a plan that I have put in place, and we can make it happen, then in our fourth quarter, we will start to see great improvement. In Indonesia, there's a lot of room, and we can expect that we have the chance to expand further abroad. So the most important thing is our quality and also pursuing lower costs. And in Thailand, the shrimp feed, there's room for us to grow. The prices have started to lower. The shrimp farms, there are medium-sized farms and larger-sized farms, and the Thai shrimp farmers have the capability. This is a year where we faced lower prices, and so the volume has dropped. But whether it's Ecuador or India, our competitors for shrimp, their raw material costs are higher and their selling prices are lower. So that means that their suppliers or their farmers will also drop in production. But in Thailand, we have an advantage because our farmers have the capacity to farm shrimp. There's still room for growth. And sea bass feed continues to grow. And tilapia feed, there's opportunity for increase in production and gamkong shrimp as well. So I believe that next year that the situation will improve, and I see opportunities for growth for TFM next year. And this is what I would like to share with our investors and analysts joining us today, both here physically and from home. Are there any questions? If you have any questions, please do raise your hand and our assistants will take the microphone to you. If there aren't any questions, then we'll go to the online questions. The raw materials trends that you said that the fish meal is still increasing and the meal is also expected to increase. Do you have any plans to manage this? We are looking at year on year. The prices that are dropping are the ones for the soybean meal. And remember, our key raw materials are fish feed, fish meal, soybean meal, and wheat flour. Wheat flour has gone down, but we have passed the stage where prices have been high in the first quarter. The average prices in the first quarter were very expensive, and I believe that in the blend, the soybean meal prices may increase a bit, but probably not to the extent as they did in the first quarter. And for fish meal, we're in the price. So the raw material costs, we should be able to manage those because some of the raw material costs have decreased and those that are increasing are not increasing that much. If we add this to our cost savings in SG&A and our selective sales, this is leading to better profit, which has enabled us to achieve better numbers in quarter three. We believe that in the fourth quarter and the first quarter of next year, raw material prices will improve, average cost will drop. And the next question, for your shrimp feed in the country, in Pakistan and AGM, what are your plans? We have begun to install and we're starting to test run, and we believe that we'll begin our commercialization in Pakistan. The government in Pakistan is supporting shrimp farming, and this will lead to economic expansion. So we're seeing investment from Pakistan investors. We have the installation, and we expect to see marketing commercialization beginning with the first quarter or the second quarter of next year. But it will probably gradually grow because with AMG, the shrimp farms, there are no shrimp farms right there right now, but the government wants the farmers to have income. So the government in Pakistan is working with us. We expect the numbers to gradually grow. Are there any questions here from the conference hall? I'm sorry, I can't hear him. The market share for the Korea is about 30 or so percent. And for our local company, 2 or 3 local companies, about 20 or 30%. We are one digit. The market cap of 24,000 tons. We account for 1,000 tons. What's important is the quality. In Indonesia, the feed there, the colors are all the same. They're very bland, and the feed over there doesn't have much of a smell. And we have talked to the marketing team there in Indonesia. They want to differentiate their product. And we're taking our Thai products, our Thai products to show them. Our products have a darker color and a stronger smell because we have higher quality raw materials. If we can implement and adapt the products in Indonesia, then this will lead to differentiation in their products. It will change the appearance, and the farmers there, naturally, farmers are the ones who make the decision. For instance, if you are a farm owner, then you would, of course, open up the product bag so you can take a look at the feed and you would actually smell it. If it looks nice and it smells right, then of course the color and the smell will attract the fish. When the fish eat the feed, just like people who eat more food, the fish will start to become plumper or gain weight. And so the conversion ratio will improve. And we're planning in terms of quality right now. We're going to increase the volume. And if we can sell up to 2,000 tons, which we believe we can achieve next year, and because of our high quality that differentiates us, and the prices over there, the selling prices for shrimp feed is the same as in Thailand. The price of shrimps itself in the market. And their raw material prices are cheaper than our raw material prices. But the market price for shrimp for consumers to buy is higher than we're seeing, or about the same in Thailand or higher. So we're working hard in quarter four. So we see this as a growth engine. We believe we can achieve this. 6 to 8%, we can achieve this. But we're looking the next year 6 to 8%, but this comes from your four engines. And Indonesia, in Indonesia, you're selling in the first half about 600 tons to 2,000 tons, right? But you're still looking at 6%. The message I want to share is our commitment that we can do this. I feel that this is important. This is key. If we can do more than we commit to doing, then that is strong. I don't want to overcommit. What we will do is we will do more than we have committed to. And we have to look at the results and the various factors. But as I mentioned earlier, I see so much opportunity and I am quite confident in the trends, the future trends. And we have to follow the plans that have been set. Thank you very much. And we don't have any online questions. So if there are no other questions, then we would like to thank everyone for joining us for our presentation on our results. Thank you.